Alright guys, in this video we're going to add a health number for the players on this scene. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off by going to a web page and we're going to download a font. So you can go to free fonts and pick a font to download. The one that I'm going to use is under medieval or something right here, medieval, and then I'm going to use the enchanted land and I'm going to download this one. Alright, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to extract this font into your game. So I'll go to my game folder here and I'm going to make a folder called fonts. Then I will go back to my downloads and I'll go to this fonts and I'm just going to extract this information into here. Okay. Alright, so let's keep going with this. So I've got a new font here and let's get started. Let's make the player health for these two guys here. So on this scene, I'm going to click on Forest Zone, and I'm going to add a canvas layer. And I will call this the player's UI. So player UI. Okay, for my player UI, I'm going to add a control node. And then on this control node, I'm going to do full rect so it fills up the whole screen. And then I'm going to add a margin container. Inside this margin container, I want my margins to be off the edge a little bit, so I'll say full rect, and then over here on the side it says margin. I'm going to do 10 pixels on each side. The top two are positive, the bottom two are negative. Alright, now I'm going to add an HBox container, and this is going to hold my two labels. So I'll add a label. And this one's going to be called player 1 health. And I'll duplicate that one. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it twice because I don't want to have a problem here. I will do label player 2 health. Alright. Now, these two health labels are inside of my HBox container, but they're not putting themselves in a very good place. So I'm going to say player 1, and then I'll just have some numbers. And then I'll do player 2, some numbers. Alright, the text is really small right now, and it's off to the side. So go to the HBox container and do alignment, center, size flags. You're going to want to do vertical. We want it to do nothing. And then under our theme overrides, constants, we're going to want to add some space. So I'll say 100. That'll like separate them out. Oops, I accidentally hit this eyeball, so it hit it. So now I zoomed them out a little bit. Now if you look, you can barely see the text. It's really tiny. That's where our font's going to come into play. So click both of these simultaneously. You can like left click on one and then hold shift and click the other. It'll add both of them. Come over here to theme overrides, go to fonts, and you're going to want to add a new dynamic font. Click on that again, go to font, and you're going to want to do a new dynamic font, which you can just drag and drop in this one here. Now it updated your font, but it's still kind of small, so we'll click on that again, this font data, and you can go to settings and you can set some settings. You can make them bigger. I'm going to do 60. I'm going to do an outline, and the outline I want it to be black. Alright, so now I've got the player's health up at the top. If you wanted to add more space, you could definitely do that. I'm actually going to do that. I want them to be a little bit farther apart, so I'll do 400. There we go. Maybe even 600. Alright, so there now when I play the game, I can see the player's health up there, but it definitely doesn't update just yet. So let's work on making that update. Okay, so we're going to need, I'm going to go ahead and use the exact same method that I did last time. I'm going to use a global script. So I'll create a new script, and I will call this global variables. I'll say create. Now I want to load this script, so I'll go to project settings, and then auto load. You should start out here. You go to auto load, and you want to choose your global variable script. It's under the scripts folder. Open and add. Okay. Now let's open up this script and let's get started. So this is our global variables. Alright, in my global variables script, we're going to have a couple things we want to keep track of. We want to keep track of player 1 health. We'll set it equal to 0. And then we'll do player 2 health. Alright, now to make these work, we want to tell everybody else when something happens. So we're going to make a signal for P1 health update. We're also going to want to let everybody know when player 2's health updates. And we need a function, so we'll say P1 function player 1 health update. And what that's going to do is it's going to take the player's health and make it equal to X. Now we're going to do that for player 2 as well. Alright, now all I need is a set get. I'll say set get. And the function I'm calling for player 1 is going to be this player 1 health update. And then likewise, I'm going to update the player 2 with this one. So this function here, or this set get, corresponds to the function that I'm calling, and this function corresponds to this one. Now anytime these functions are called, we need to tell everybody else, so we'll say emit signal, and we want them to know that the player 1 health was updated, and we will update it, and we will tell them what it was updated with. Oops. Likewise, we'll do the same for this one, but instead of updating player 1, we will update player 2's health. Alright, so this is a good way to do a script, a global script. Okay, now all we need to do is attach a way to update these healths. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this player UI here. It has no script, so I'm going to go ahead and create one. I'm going to make sure I put it in the right folder. So I'll say player UI, open, create. This is my player UI. Alright, player UI needs access to two things. It needs access to player 1 health. So I'll say You know what? I'm going to do unique access on both of these so I can call them by name. So I'll say onReadyVar player 1 health label is equal to get node, and then I'm going to call it by name. Player 1 health. And then I'm going to do the same for player 2. Player 2. Player 2. Alright, so if I want to update these functions, I will say function player 1 health update. I think that's how I want to do that. Okay, so player 1 health label dot text is going to be equal to, let's make it equal to health we got to turn the next one into a string because this is going to be a number. And there's player 1 health update. Now we're going to want to have the same thing with player 2. Alright, so these two functions change the health, change the label to display the player's health. Okay, now we need to connect those signals from the global here. Alright, so we'll say global variables dot connect player 1 health update to ourself, and we will do player 1 health update. So this function is the same. I connected the global variable, that update, to this first one, and I'm going to do the same for the second one. Alright, now right out the gate, as soon as this starts, we are going to want to update the player 1's health with their current health. So I'll say player 1 health update is equal to global variables dot player. Let's go take a look and make sure that I get this right. So it's going to be player 1 health, and then the next one's going to be player 2, player 2. Alright, now this updates the label in our player UI, but the last thing we need to do is we need to tell our barbarians to actually tell the global script when their health is actually updated. So let's go to start with barbarian 1, and at the very beginning on the do we have an onReady function? I don't think we do. Let's make an onReady function. So we'll say function ready, and we'll say global variables dot player 1 health, because this is my player 1 barbarian, is equal to our health. Alright. Now anytime we want to update, anytime we take damage, we're going to want to update our health. So I'll come down here to this damage function, and we're going to update the player 1's health under the damage function. Alright, let's do the exact same thing we just did here for player 2. I did make two different scripts, so we're going to want to make this one player 2. And then under the damage function, we're going to want to do the same thing. Alright, let's see if that works. 26 health on both of them. Now, if I walk over to this one and I swing my sword, wow, he takes some damage, takes 2 damage. Power attacks, does more. Let's check the other guy. Power attack, smack, 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 dead. He even takes negatives. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, that works. Alright, the video was kind of quick. You guys have been rushing through my stuff, so I decided to pack a lot more information into the videos. Hopefully you were able to keep up. See you in the next one.